With a ton of leaks apparently recently for Marvel Spider-Man 2, let's talk about the villains that are apparently going to be appearing in this and some of the story elements. Okay, so these leaks come from frequent big website leaks. That's all I can say. There's some of them out there. Sometimes they turn out to be correct, sometimes, incorrect. It's just how it goes. But for right now, we're going to talk about some of the rumored big appearances for the upcoming sequel. Now, of course, I should note that all of this is subject to change as the game is still far away, and who knows how far into development they currently are and what might end up making the cut. Because we've seen in other games where they literally complete something, they're like 80% complete on it, then they're like, yeah, we're just gonna scrap that for now, we'll make a DLC. I mean, the Black Cat DLC is a prime example of content ripped out of the main game. So again, it could change, but as of right now, there are gonna be expectations to see the villains we've seen in the first one. Now, whether you fight them again or not, still remains to be seen, but the brand new stuff that's being rumored is, of course, Venom will play a major factor into this game. Now, not just that, Eddie Brock will also be here, but Eddie Brock will not be Venom because Venom is actually gonna be, obviously, spoiler alert, Norman Osborn. Now, here's the thing. They're saying that Venom is going to be a super unique take on the character, something that we haven't really seen before, which again, if you just look at this game and how they're setting it up, that obviously makes sense. Now, another rumor that's popped up is, of course, that this game will have more of a focus on the bigger world Spider-Man lives in, which is going to bring him to, interact with some other Marvel characters. Now, obviously, this again makes sense. We heard about this one before, but this time that specifically he's going to interact a little bit more with them in some different ways, and possibly even kind of intertwining some of the elements of what's happening with the game's plot with some of the bigger, established Marvel world, which could make some sense. I mean, if Oscorp and Harry Osborn and everything is going to play a big role in this, Norman Osborn, again, he's, not really friends with many of the heroes. He goes up against Tony Stark when it comes to financials and stuff. So again, it sort of makes sense. And if you look at some of the other stuff that's happening with Marvel games, how they want to establish a bigger video game world, again, if this game ends up being part of that same continuity with Marvel's Avengers and they're kind of trying to build off this thing, it would kind of make sense that they have to explain some of the things that are going on and whatever Spider-Man status is within that game, which obviously we'll find out when we get to play it. So again, I think it makes sense that we're going to see so many villains and that this game is going to be bigger in every way and that Spider-Man's probably going to be challenged the most because that's kind of what we're expecting from the sequel.